I used to have brilliant insights while working on projects, then forget them 20 minutes later. Or I'd save random notes everywhere and never find them again when I actually needed them. And here's what's crazy. I wasn't lazy about taking notes. I was taking the wrong notes in the wrong places. By the end of this video, I'll show you the exact note-taking framework we use at the Paperless Movement and thousands of other professionals worldwide. How to capture only what matters, where to save it so you'll actually find it, and how to turn notes into actions instead of digital clutter. If you take notes but never use them, this changes everything. So here's what happens when you're in a meeting. Someone shares a brilliant idea about improving your customer onboarding process. You think, that's gold. I need to remember this. So you grab whatever's convenient. Maybe you open Apple Notes on your phone. Maybe you scribbled it in a Google Doc that's already open. Maybe you send an email to yourself, or you just write it down on a piece of paper. You capture the idea and you feel productive. You do this 50 times a week. Quick captures in whatever tool is closest. And now you've got notes scattered across 6 different tools with zero organization. 3 weeks later, you're working on that customer onboarding project. You remember someone shared a brilliant idea about this. But where is it? You search Apple Notes, nothing. You search Google Drive. You read through 5 documents, not there. You search Slack, too many results. You give up. After 15 minutes, you either ask the person again, hey, what was the idea you shared about onboarding? Or you just move forward without that insight. The note might as well not exist. Or here's another pattern. You attend a conference. You take 30 pages of notes. You feel productive, like you're capturing all this valuable knowledge. You go home, save it in a folder called Conference Notes, and never look at it again. 6 months later, you're facing a problem those notes could have solved, but they're buried in storage, disconnected from your actual work, completely inaccessible when you need them. Here's why this happens. Most people think note-taking is about preserving information for later. But research shows that 80% of notes taken are never reviewed again. They sit in notebooks, apps, and folders, creating the illusion of productivity while providing zero actual value. But here's what's really crazy. When you link notes directly to your work, to your project's goals and tasks, retrieval becomes automatic. You're not searching through folders, trying to remember where you saved something. You're opening the project and seeing all relevant notes right there. Context is built in. This is what we call personal knowledge management in ICOR. It's not about accumulating information, it's about capturing insights that drive action. When I implemented this framework, both in corporate and in the Paperless Movement for our members, I and all our members stopped losing ideas and started compounding knowledge. Every insight built on previous ones instead of getting lost in the void. The issue is that your notes live in isolation from your work, so when you need them, you can't find them. So here's the framework that changes everything. We call it the capturing beast. And it ensures every note you take actually serves your goals. First, you understand the 4 types of information you capture. In ICOR, we divide everything into 4 categories. PKM, personal knowledge management, for personal information that only affects you. Book insights, learning notes, personal ideas. BKM, business knowledge management, for team information you need to share. Meeting notes, decisions, process documentation. PPM, personal project management, for your personal tasks. BPM, business project management, for team tasks. When you capture a note, you immediately ask 2 questions. Is this personal or team? Is this information or action? That tells you where it belongs. For example, a book insight that you want to remember, that's PKM. A process improvement idea for your team, that's BKM. A task that came out of that idea, that's BPM. This removes the where do I save this paralysis completely. Second, use an intermediate capture tool for speed, then process to your single source of truth. When you're on mobile or need to capture something fast, use whatever's quickest. Apple Notes, voice memos, whatever. But there's the key. You process these notes later and move them to their proper home. Third, link every note to a project goal or task if it makes sense. Never save standalone notes floating in folders. Every note should answer, what work does this support? If you're learning about marketing strategies, link that note to your marketing project or your grow audience goal in your project management tool. If you're capturing feedback from a client call, link it directly to the client's task. This creates automatic context. 3 months from now, when you're working on that project, you'll see all relevant notes without searching. 3 right there connected to the work. Fourth, focus only on actionable insights, not exhaustive documentation. Here's the rule. If it doesn't change what you do or how you think, don't save it. You're not creating a library. You're building a knowledge base that drives better decisions. When you're working on your highlight of the day and you have a breakthrough, oh, this approach would work better if we did X. Capture it immediately in your quick capture tool, process it later during your daily routine, and link it to the work it supports. This exact system is how we compound knowledge instead of just collecting information. Full stop. Here's what changes if you do this. Your insights don't disappear into digital storage. Every note you take connects to actual work, and your knowledge compounds over time instead of scattering across apps. So here's what to do starting this week. Choose one PKM tool for personal insights, your single source of truth. When you capture a note, ask, is this personal or team, information or action? Process your quick captures daily and link them to the relevant projects or goals. And if you're serious and want to build this productivity system end-to-end, including task and project management, grab our free ICOR Journey Starter Kit below. You get a 120-page PDF playbook, an 11-lesson course, magic slides and growth assignments, everything you need to get started completely free. Now, if you want to understand the critical difference between personal knowledge management and business knowledge management and why mixing them creates chaos, check out the next video. I'll show you exactly when to use each system and how they work together.